That craft.
That craft.
That craft.
That craft.
It's the Real Negus, and we back.
We are back.
That craft.
That craft.
That craft.
That craft.
HBO got a show about blacks.
And we're going to make you laugh.
And it ain't whack either.
It's not
you
really
know
whack.
what I'm saying?
It's really not whack.
Mike, man, we got an amazing episode. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a great episode. And it was like a whole different episode from what we've already, like it was like a standalone episode.
Yeah, it's like whenever HBO goes to Shogun World, like all good things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like this was we had like a pseudo Shogun at the beginning. Like it felt like Westworld, that episode when they went to Shogun World. It was dope. But I was gonna tell you, man, you can always tell it's gonna be a dope episode when at the beginning they tell you it's violence, adult content, nudity, and strong sexual content, bro. Like HBO never fails. Like that's when you be like, oh shit, they put the seatbelt on.
Isn't that in all the episodes though? Don't all the episodes start with that?
No, some of them just say like graphic violence, and then I think.
So you really get excited about the sexual content?
I mean, not necessarily excited about it. It's just there's a consistency.
Nah, man, you can tell. You can explain to the audience that you like, you a furry, man. You like.
Yeah, I mean this episode, it extended the boundaries of what we consider strong sexual content.
Yeah,
because they put the strong in there.
Are you having sex if you are penetrated by a fur tail? Is that considered sex?
Bruh, like that was some Kama Sutra for your ass, like pun intended. But it was, it was like she hit him with the hentai. You know what I'm saying? With the hentai tackle.
You've been spending a little bit too much time on YouPorn, bro.
Yo, man, like, the episode was so raw, man. It was so many like levels. You had this old girl she had the what was the name of it? The come here ho spirit.
Yeah.
She kept
Komiho.
I thought she said come here ho.
Nah,
then like he ripped that.
Nah, man, I don't think she was saying telling hoes to come over, man. I think it's come here.
That ain't what she said. That ain't what she said. Her name was.
Come here, ho.
I thought that's what it was. Right?
Okay,
I don't know.
Maybe I misunderstood.
I know. It was so much going on in the episode. Like you got this amazing backstory. It made Tick just seem like this benevolent brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she took his virginity with 8 tentacles just flying out the thing. Like that's.
No, I don't think I think it was just first of all, so did you wonder when he finally lost his virginity, do you think Tick for the rest of his life would think that all women have fur inside of them?
Yeah.
You think that's why? You think maybe that's why him and Letty was mad at Letty because he was like, oh, you ain't got no fur inside of you.
Nah, but when the blood came out, like you notice he was still kind of like, oh, I guess this a normal thing.
Yeah, because sometimes there's blood, sometimes it's a fur tail, sometimes it's just regular.
Or maybe he was too hard and ripped her fur apart, and that's why he was like, kind of mesmerized a little bit.
He's like, he probably thought he ripped her fur part out.
Yeah. Like. This episode, Mike, I hate how it was set up, but bro,
why? Like, what did you hate about it?
Well, not hate how it's. I'm saying like I hate how. Not like the show wasn't good. I'm saying like I hate that she had to endure sexual abuse from her daddy.
Yeah.
And then because what ended up happening is she weaponized her sex for the rest of the episode, and she had brothers weren't lasting in that thing.
Mm-mm. Nah.
And I think it made the monster angry and was like more prone to ripping you apart. Like she went through 99, bro. Like, bro.
But that's it. She was a little girl, man.
Yeah, I know. That was why I was trying to like tread lightly on how I described, what I observed in the show.
Well, we don't know when she started taking souls, though. She could have waited till she graduated from high school to take souls.
I know, like it was a lot.
She was in college when she had the man that we saw, the first dude that we saw. She was already in college then. And people have a wild time in college. Some people, get drunk and go to frat parties. Some people take the souls of unsuspecting people at bars.
That is true. I mean, that I'm telling you, the come here whole spirit is unpredictable, right? Like, it's just, you just never know when it's gonna pop out. And and then I thought about just giving like a brief overview of the show. Like when they said when she started singing that song when she was a kid, and then she started, she revealed that she can like remember everything. I started wondering, like, what are some songs that I can't listen to anymore because it's like tied to some kind of traumatic experience? I was gonna ask you that. What songs can you no longer listen to?
I can't think of really. I'm trying to think of a song. Oh, so I mean, it's whenever I hear this song, right, it reminds me of a traumatic part of my lifetime. Is when I hear the song "Let Me Ride That Donkey." because when I was online, right, I guess the brothers had gone out to a party and they came home, and this brother laid on the couch and he threw up in a Kentucky Fried Chicken box. And I had to clean it up, man. And that song was on the radio. And that song always remind me of throw up in a Kentucky Fried Chicken box.
Yeah, that's one hell of a traumatic experience, right? Like, yeah. I was trying to think of something. All I could think about is how, how integral R. Kelly's music was to a Black social gathering. And we just no longer can listen to it anymore because all we can think about is him peeing on a little girl. You know what I'm saying?
I think in the future we're gonna have to get together and come to a decision as a community on one song of R. Kelly's that we're gonna have to, give a pass to. Like but it's gonna have to be a collective community decision so that nobody else can condemn you when you hear the song. That's true. I would choose the remix to Ignition, but people may differ.
That is true, and all of the talk of this hypothetical cookout, you can't really have a cookout without playing Backyard Party. I mean, like that was a cut, Yeah. Or I mean, we all have been in love before, and we step in the name of love, and we can't do that.
And we can't forget how, like, the one song really, more than any other song maybe in history that brought the Black community get together was "I Believe I Can Fly," because aunties loved that. Little children sang it in pageants.
They sang it at church, right?
Right. You know what I'm saying? It was a song that spanned from the church to the club. It's very few songs in the history of Black America that's maybe, they did for a minute. Music Soul Child's Love almost got there, but I don't believe
It don't hit you like the Pied Piper hits you.
Yeah, it don't hit like you believe you can fly, bro.
I know. I mean, I can even think of a gospel song he did with R. Kelly. I mean, with R. Kelly did with what's my man name? Gospel singer.
Kirk Franklin.
Kurt Franklin. He did one with Kurt Franklin, and I was like, dang, you can't even play that one no more. Like you gotta bleep out all his
I mean, I
spiritual
really
verses.
believe I Can Fly got the anointing, so it shouldn't be included with all the other songs.
But he was making these songs while peeing on girls, man, and you just like you can't unhear it.
Yeah,
You
you're right.
can't. So let's move on before we lose our core audience out there.
Yeah.
So let's take it from the beginning. They showed this actress come here ho. Her real name is Jamie Chung. She played on The Real World, Mike. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't. I hadn't watched The Real World since Puck.
I think she was on the season with Puck. No, it was probably a little bit after that. I think it was like when Buddy was singing the song in New Orleans. What was dude's name? And I can't even think of his name right now. It was a black dude from New Orleans, and he sang like this iconic song on Real World. I think he was on that season. She was on that season, but she was in the theater, social distancing. She didn't have a mask on. Mm-hmm. But she was watching an old school film, getting Asian brainwashed, believing in white love with through Judy Garland, and then I think she hit a dance number because that's all she had. That was her internet at the time.
Yeah.
Is watching Julie Garland movies. Like that was her logging on to MySpace and just keeping it funky, you know what I'm saying? And then they showed her with her mama, and her mama had pumpkin spice latte flavored bread that she gave. Or no, it wasn't bread, it was kimchi. You ever had kimchi, Mike?
Yeah.
What does it taste like? Does it taste like pumpkin spice? Is there
no? It's
that collard green version with Tabasco?
It's pickled cabbage, man.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And she put a pumpkin in it.
Well, I think she said she was short on something, so she used pumpkin instead. But kimchi is like pickled cabbage.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I hadn't had that. Well, I may have had that, in my travels. Just didn't know what it was. But they showed. I know.
Oh well, I guess I'm looking at it now. I guess kimchi could be pickled or fermented anything. So it doesn't. I guess I only had the cabbage, but
So this was kimchi pumpkin spice.
Yeah, pumpkin spice kimchi.
Yeah,
because it is the fall. In the fall season is when they start really selling pumpkin stuff. Everything become pumpkin flavored.
Yeah, and I noticed like she didn't use any utensils to eat it. Like, are you supposed to just like dive in with your fingers? Like, it ain't no Korean biscuit to sop it up or anything like that.
I don't know. I think you can use like most places outside of where white people are. Like forks are really a white people thing, man.
Really? So they colonized us with the forks.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Other places like in Ethiopia, you might eat with the bread but really like white people really can't cook that well, so they got to use a fork. They can't cook the food and cook the utensils. See, we use our food as the utensils and everything on the plate you eat, but white people really ain't good with that, so they invented the fork.
Well, I felt like she needed a wet wipe or something, Mike, because like she needed like a mean tablespoon game to eat all the food, because she was just kind of grubbing on it and eating with her hands. And it just didn't, as we later found out, like she cleaned up blood from the men that old girl was sleeping with. I just don't know how good the food is at their house.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat there.
Yeah, I would not eat there. And then you fast forward. I was gonna say like I I know a lot of our single sisters and brothers out there, really complain about how the dating scene is hard. But, you got to find like little silver linings. And like that silver lining is at least you're not going to a Korean speed dating event.
Right.
That did not look happy at all, Mike. What
Right.
are your thoughts?
At least you don't have to go home with a you don't have to choose a tail when you take your date home.
Yeah, I mean, like they were there. They was playing bingo
I thought
with
it
the
was bingo
hoes.
at first, but then I was like, where the letters at? And then I realized it was Korean speed dating.
Yeah, they was playing bingo with the hoes, and I didn't think that was good. Like that was one
Why
girl
were they
got
using Greco-Roman numbers though?
because some of the you think about Greco and you think about Rome. I don't know, man. I can't even finish that thought with a
Yeah,
straight face.
I
I
don't
was
know. I
about to
just
say
know
some
that.
wild shit. Let's move on. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. That was hilarious. Uh, what it sounded like at the end of the speed dating, right, was her girl inviting her over for an entanglement with the other Korean
I
dude.
really
Like, were they
kind of
about to
got
do a
that
threesome?
vibe from old girl all the
Yeah,
way through.
yeah.
But
She hit her
I
with
couldn't
the
tell because she kept like embracing her hand and looking longingly into her eyes, like, yo, we could do this thing if you want to.
yeah. Like, I think I saw an ogle. Did she ogle her? Did I see an ogle?
Yeah, I don't think so. She might have slightly ogled her, but I don't. It's hard to say. We can't ask her. She did.
Yeah. Yeah, but she ended up turning it down, and then the next scene we saw her in a club, and they had Korean Boys to Men singing the Korean version of Down on Bended Knee, and it was just sad. Like it was just a sad occurrence, and then she just randomly found Buddy at the bar, and like they ain't exchanged no numbers or nothing. Like they went from like staring at each other at the bar to heading back to the crib. Is that how they get down in Korea, Mike? Like, do they just like that's what I noticed. It was like an ogle. You hit them with the ogle, with the mean cross the room look into the middle distance game, and then they scoop up and head back to the crib. And we got the wildest sex scene I'd ever seen in my life. Like that was pretty wild, man. Like I like out of all the things that I imagined happening in that scene, what I saw, I didn't anticipate. I couldn't even think of that. So it makes me wonder, like, how fucked up are these creators of this show?
I mean, I guess they were trying. If you're trying to find a mythical creature, why not a nine-tailed fox that rape people who they bring home from the club? I mean, it seemed logical to me, bro.
It's true. That's true. I mean, like she put him in the mid-air and then sucked the
Yeah,
thoughts
the
out.
tail be strong though, don't it?
Yeah, that tail got to be out there, man. Like you had to balance them with three of them, and then the other. I don't. How many tails was it? 8.
9.
It
It's
was
supposed to have
9
9.
tails. Okay, so 9 tails. I guess you use 4 to balance and 5 to do damage. Because when Buddy went in, when she went in through the rear end and then through the eyes, I was like, dang, what you got? What you need the eyes for? You're already inside. Hit him with the nostrils. Like, what
Yeah.
you breathe? Like, I mean, you can't even breathe no more at that point. And I mean, then she went in there and was like, "Come here, ho," and got all his thoughts and his history of life and dating all the way back to he was a kid. It was crazy, man. Like what? I mean, what do you think about, like, just that whole thing. Like even going to the end when they showed the fox in the snow or whatever. Like I've been playing this game called Ghost of Tsushima, and apparently that's actually Japanese. The fox is more Japanese than Korean, unless they walk to Japan. How far is Japan from Korea?
I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure there are foxes in Korea too.
It's a Japanese. I mean, it's a Korean fox.
It might be. I don't know. I guess foxes be everywhere, man. I grew up around foxes.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, this wasn't your average Foxy Brown. This thing was out there.
Nah.
Yeah, this ain't Pam Grier. But it was one of those parts, like, so going back to the song that Kamiho was singing. The song was about butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about last week's episode, like how, we spent so much time, thinking about the cocoon effect, thinking about, just becoming this butterfly. And that part in the story shifted a change. I mean, that moment shifted a change for the episode. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I think it was a big moment. I agree. But I guess the last 2 weeks have been about like changing and metamorphosis. And I guess that theme carried over to this week because we saw like the pivotal moment for Atticus's life. We saw the pivotal moment for his dad's life last week, or what seems like it's going to be the pivotal moment. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And I see they're still telegraphing that George's gonna be his daddy. You see, George was calling George to give him that, like, the dating advice in this episode.
Right. Yeah, and you really and then you saw the conflict that he was having with who he thought was his daddy. His daddy was trying to push him to be something he wasn't, or push him to be something else than what he was. And you think about the trauma of his fake daddy. Like, his fake daddy just wanted to live life in light loafers, and he couldn't do it because he was like, pretending to be somebody he was not, and it ended up pushing his son, or what he think is his son, all the way across the globe. Yeah, and then his real daddy, Uncle George, slide the rare Judy Garland bootleg that ain't even dropped yet. It ain't even come out.
He got that from the barbershop.
Yeah, it hadn't even dropped in 1950. Like this, they filmed that movie in like it didn't hit the theaters till like 52, and then he had it in 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he had it on DVD.
Right. Even back then. Yeah, I mean, and then you show, I like how they show Tick before he was anybody, and he just, followed orders, came in, blew old girl brains out, and then just went back to obscurity for a moment, until we caught back up with them in the hospital. So yeah, I mean, I love the storytelling element of this episode. It was pretty fantastic. So
yeah. I think what we also got to see was what Tick had been alluding to when he kept saying, that when people would say you're a good person, and he would say, well, you don't know the shit I did, or that I did some stuff that I don't want to talk about in Korea. So we got to see what he was talking about remember, somebody asked him if he killed anyone, and he wouldn't say anything. So, so we got to see what he was alluding to in all those previous episodes.
Yeah.
And we got to see why, and plus we got to see why his long distance bill was so high. Because I don't even think, what was he calling? Because I didn't see a phone at their house. From his whole house. So, what was he calling?
Well, I think one of those tentacles was like
A cell
it got
tower.
like 400. It had 400 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think another one of the tentacles, it just plugged into the telephone line, and you just
Yeah,
dial
it's
one
a
800.
USB-C cord.
Right.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So, and that's what she used her tentacles for, like just a soundboard to,
Yeah, yeah, as a
so
cell phone
everybody.
tower and I could see that. I could see that. She probably got one of them that's a micro. Um, what is a micro USB, and then one is a USB C. One is the old school USB cord.
Yeah, with the
A lightning
UPC
cord
on it.
too. She probably got a lightning cord in one of them tails.
Yeah, I think so. It was a lot of it. It was basically like the first hotline. Like this was the first hotline pussy where you just call 1-800 come here ho, and like
Yeah,
the thing would just come in, and then there'll be just plugging in the little wires and everything as folks was SOS and trying to get that wet
yeah.
come here ho.
She was
So
probably getting SMS text messages from
right.
up there.
um, I don't know about you, Mike, but when they showed Tick with the red eye, man, it kept making my eyes water.
Nah, mine was
Like
good, man.
it was good, yeah, man. I couldn't really look at it. Like, yeah, I had to kind of look away a little bit because I had to go get some Visine or something to pop in there. I really thought something bad was about to happen when the officer walked Camille into the little tent.
Oh, you thought they was about to do something bad to her?
Yeah, I ain't know because all we know is at this point in the story that something bad happened between the two of them,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, maybe this is it, and it wasn't. Man, they hit us with that shit was so romantic, Mike. Like I was like, God damn, I had to pull the wife to close to me, just kind of hug her. You know what I'm saying? Like he pulled out the cherry blossom and gave it to her. And
Yeah.
man, he hit man. That was a very touching scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was just hoping, man, them tails weren't gonna come out and when she took him to the crib.
Yeah, I mean,
Why
and
didn't she
he
go?
went.
I mean, why they like she got on top of him and
Uh-huh.
then like they cut and it was at her crib. Like I wonder what that conversation was like. Like, nah, we ain't gonna do it here.
Right,
Let's go to
right,
your house.
right, and like, I mean, you gotta like have a conversation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, how far is her house from the
Yeah,
station?
they gotta walk all the way over there, take a Uber, and what they talked about. She could have told him about the tails then.
And then what if like the trucks was occupied and like they had to go over to her house in a tank? You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna take forever. Like that's a long ride. You churning up
Let me
road.
ask you this though. So when they got to her house, I feel like now this is gonna sound fucked up to some people who believe in love. I feel like as soon as he told her that he was a virgin, because like it's 1949, 1950. They don't have no internet. They don't have like Playboy. They ain't even invented yet, right? As soon as she told him that she was a virgin, she should have told him, "Oh yeah, so I need to tell you that I don't know if you noticed because you probably ain't had sex yet, but like when people have sex, tails be coming out their asshole.
you know,
Sometimes the tail, first shit come out your ears. That's how sex is. I just want to tell you, just in case nobody ain't tell you yet, like, because when we get down, you probably gonna say, like, the better it is, the more furry shit come out, right? So if you see a furry USB cord come out, that means you hit it right. You hit me on my spot.
hilarious. Yeah, I mean, you making me think about what happened towards the end when she was like, he ain't gonna like who you are. And like that would have been a perfect time for her to say to her mama, like, oh, you don't know what I did.
Yeah.
I put it on him, told him all about this thing. He was a virgin. What do you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. She could have took that opportunity to just say, "Yeah, man, all the fur, all vaginas got fur on, got fur coming out of it."
man, like and when he went down to taste that thing, I was like, dang, like I wonder if he gonna get like come back up with some little whiskers or something from the
Yeah, he
taste.
gonna have fur in between his teeth. He better floss.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was a wild scene, but hey man, he went right in that thing and he lasted about 42 seconds, bro. Like, man,
He
she
had no
she got that
condoms.
fire.
Yeah. What if they would have had a fur baby? What if that's where Muppet babies come from?
I mean, I I wonder if they would have had a chia pet.
A black chia pet? That would have been cool.
Got some collard greens coming out his scalp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, I mean, uh, did you notice that the lady that was she was the Modong, uh, the witch doctor. Did
Mm.
you notice that was the Asian lady from Watchmen?
No, I didn't.
I think that was the same lady. I seen her on something else, but I was like, oh snap! Like, what if she open up a portal and Doctor Manhattan come through this bitch? Like that should have been raw as hell.
That'd be great. And then, like, what if the Red Witch would have showed up?
What that's what I'm saying. What if it just ripped a hole into like the HBO space time continuum
Yeah, and
and
so
fucking Larry David comes out?
yeah,
That
that would have been dope. That would have been dope.
would have been a dope little
Yeah,
crossover.
yeah, Larry David and Ida BC and everybody would have come out. Old girl from because I think she part Korean, who
Right.
Kira from The Wire, who
Yeah.
got
Oh,
shot.
Kima.
Kima, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. If Kima and Bodie had walked through that, you know what I'm saying? That would have been
that would have been
hilarious.
dope. That would have been dope.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, like, so if you had an opportunity to ask a witch doctor anything, would you ask that witch doctor a question with the most obvious answer? Is somebody gonna die? Like, nah, I mean, ain't like she gonna say the motherfucker gonna live
Nah, he gonna live
forever.
forever. Yeah, nah. He gonna die. That's what she. I would have asked who gonna win the next Super Bowl, bro, and then put a bet on it now.
Right. Or just ask for like some kind of specificity. You know what I'm saying? It's just like say how he gonna die.
No, you gotta ask what stock is gonna be most profitable between now and 10 years from now.
Nah, I mean, technically, we know. I mean, she got a 9-tail lace pussy. Like that's the future, bro. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You could be so versatile with that. So
Right.
like we knew that part. I just wanted to know, like, could we get some specificity on how he gonna die?
Mm-hmm.
Who else gonna die with him?
She don't know like, for instance, right? So if she thinks that he should stay in Korea, or if he goes home, he's gonna die, then that means that there is the possibility that he can change his future, which means you don't know if he's gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, if ain't no way, if you think you could stop him from dying, then anything could stop him from dying. So what the fuck you talking about?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. That was such an odd question to ask. You know, and
And I thought
then
she could see their past, not their future.
yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you. So you actually brought up a question I wanted to ask. Do you think when she stuck the tail into
When she plugged it,
Tick,
when she plugged into his USB ass.
yeah, when she downloaded, right?
When she
Do you
downloaded.
think she saw the future? Right? I mean, she obviously saw the future.
Yeah.
But like, who the scene where he was having sex with somebody, was that in the past or in the future?
I think that was in the past because he ain't never had sex before, right?
I mean, so then was that meaning that he lied?
Yeah, that's what. At first, I thought that meant he lied, But then I realized when she was seeing the future, because first they showed him getting beat by his daddy, then they showed him having sex, but the woman, it wasn't Letty because it was a dark skinned woman.
That was the
You know what I'm
girl
saying? She had
from.
dark areolas.
You know who that was?
Who?
That was the girl that Trey from Boys in the Hood had sex with right before her mama came home. And Boys in the Hood. Those were the same areolas, Mike. I recognize that from my years of watching shows that had strong sexual content.
See, now I know why you don't pay attention.
You gotta catch clues, Mike.
Right. So,
that was the same house.
Right. So, so it could have meant that he lied, but I don't know why he would have lied about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially when you going, like, all he had to do was shut up and just flow right into that thing. She was finna give it to him.
Yeah, that would be a weird thing.
So so I think he was telling the truth. So if she saw him having sex with somebody else, then she also saw him having sex with Letty. She probably mad at him for throwing that D everywhere. But then she really can't be mad because he was gonna be number 100, like it was 99 before him. She literally had a body count.
She literally had a body count. Yeah. Man, we saw so many clues, I guess, on how the future is gonna go just in that little montage. You saw him like being strung up.
Yeah.
We saw Letty being right in his face again. I think she saw all that black pussy about to get, and she was like, "Hell no, I gotta lock this up. I gotta lock this up so we can have a Kimora Lee Simmons."
No, I think that's when she knew she couldn't compete.
That's what it was. She was like, "Let me see how to trap him."
What if that's how Kimora Lee got here?
That's how Kimora. Right? She did the same thing to Russell.
But I'm saying, what if that Kimora Lee is the daughter of Atticus and Come Here Ho?
That's what I'm telling you. That's where she come from. Like this is the coming of age story. This is the lineage story of Kimora Lee Simmons. She, somebody gonna be rocking baby fat on the next episode.
Yeah.
That's where the fox. See, it started with a fox. The logo was a fox.
Oh yeah, it was a fox.
And then it evolved into something.
A fox and
I don't know. Right. Yeah, it was wild. Just to kind of like round it up. Like I think I thought about Game of Thrones again at the end when she asked the question about, is Tit gonna die? I was like, all men must die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I had to go back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had a brief flashback on that part. Like I thought somebody was gonna step in. I thought Arya was gonna step in through the space-time continuum and be like, "Fam, all men must die," and then go back to her world or something. It was a good episode, man. Like, you could. I don't know what goes on in the mind of Jordan Peele.
Yeah, let me ask you this. So were they insinuating that when she went to when Come Here Ho went to the witch doctor lady, and she asked the witch doctor lady, was Atticus gonna die? Did she get right on the phone? Did she plug her USB cord up into the hotline and just call him? And that's what that phone call meant when he answered last week. And he was deciphering. And we know the last word was die.
Right. And I think that was like her phone number or something. And, I think old girl had a phone in her tent. And the Mudang had a phone in her tent. And that's where the phone call came.
Wu-Tang. I think that's where the Wu-Tang clan.
That's where it evolved from. Right. So another thing about that scene, it seemed like Wu-Tang was telling her that all you had was one more body. Now I'm gonna add a number that you ain't never seen before, like a number you can't count.
Oh, I thought she was saying that, like, if you want to give it up this easy, I think she's going to end up killing Come Here Ho Mama.
Yeah, I mean that's a given. Like I thought she was gonna kill her, like regardless. But that's why I thought like the monster was only like a sex monster. Like as long as her mama ain't try to have sex with her, like she couldn't necessarily kill her mama.
I don't know. I think the monster. Yeah, well, I guess so. Cause I mean, if the monster could just come out at any time, then she could have stopped them from killing her homegirl, who be ogling her, as you say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that would have been an interesting.
Maybe it's a literal pussy monster.
It was a pussy. It was definitely a pussy monster because it was gobbling them dudes up like one by one by one. She made the soldier disappear. Like when nobody even.
I don't understand why they burst in the I don't know, afterbirth, when they what made them break up in the afterbirth.
Let me ask you something, Mike. If you could have a nut so good that'll make you dissipate, would you go for
Nah,
it?
nah, bro. Nah, bro.
Oh snap! Man, that dude like
Let me ask you
disappeared,
this.
bro.
You had to choose, right? You got to either take the elixir that turns you into a white woman, or you got to have sex with the pussy monster. Which one are you going to do?
Man, I'm gonna just stay with my sisters, Mike. That's what we learned last week. Just stay black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta run into no elixirs, no
Yeah.
nine-tailed monsters.
All of this really is the cause of all this. Really, I think that the theme of this whole show is beware of interracial dating.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you gotta cultivate your own culture.
Yeah.
It's like my grandmama, I mean, God rest her soul, she used to say, you could get them as light as you want or as dark as you want, as long as they black. I think she knew about all the stuff going on
Yeah,
in
she knew about
Lovecraft.
the monsters. She knew about the mansions in Autumn. She knew about all of this, man. She knew
Right.
about all the elixirs. Like they really like a lot, and this this also teach men and women. This show is also teaching men, like, be careful who you take home to get some too. Like, because that's how old girl got turned into a white woman. She left the club with a white dude.
Yeah, yeah.
When old boy left the club with Come Here Ho, he turned to a Piggly Wiggly bag of afterbirth that her mama had to scrub up off the floor.
Man, he turned into some Kung Pao chicken on that.
And if they bought one of those CSI lights and sprayed some luminol in that bitch, what do you think they'll see?
Bruh.
That shit was glowing. They wouldn't have to buy no light bulbs.
Fam, exactly. It'd be like one of them rooms. It'd be like just all night, like all neon, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Before we go, I need to ask one question. How did she light all of those candles at one time?
Hey, I thought about that too, Mike. Like that was some.
The dude's supposed to run. Then if all the candles light up, I'm hauling ass.
Nah, like those Crate and Barrel like candles that you get. Crate and Barrel has some real nice candles that do that.
They can light up by themselves without fire.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotta go check them out. Them fireless candles.
Yeah, Crate and Barrel is like a hodgepodge of like expensive white folks shit, and that's what they do. Like they just put like it's in the section like right next to the little soap dust. Like it's this little soap dust you just sprinkle on your hand and then turn into a whole soap bar. and you
Yeah.
be clean. Like it'd be wild.
Yeah. That sounds like some white folks shit. White folks got candles that don't need fire. White people will take a whole bath with hand sanitizer. They really can take a bath without soap.
That's the crate and the barrel, Mike. That's what's in there. And on that note,
Man, but don't sleep with people. Don't sleep with women who light candles, man. Like every scene where a woman kill a man in the bed is always a candle lit. Pay attention to that in other shows, man. Whenever a woman lights a candle, she might kill you, bro.
Yeah, that's a telltale sign. I mean, there was, but this one, so many unassuming signs. This is, but then you think about this you got to think about the era. You got to frame it. This was 1949.
Yeah.
So a lot of the knowledge that we have in 2020, they didn't have back then.
They didn't have that.
Yeah. So yeah, man, another good episode. Crouching Tiger, Unleash the Dragon tonight. So
right.
Man, this has been like another
I'm
episode.
glad you got me calling that girl come here, ho. You did. I just want the audience to know that you did that.
That's what you're thinking. That's what it was.
I was not thinking that until you said that. I promise you, that never crossed my mind until you said it.
She pulled, they came, like niggas was nutting all through the show. It was come here, ho, come over to the crib. Her mama called her a hoe. It's right there, man.
I gotta start paying more attention to the tags at the beginning of the show, man. I see that now.
It's right there. Adult. That's the adult content part.
Right.
Like you ain't gonna catch that as a teen.
Nah.
You gotta be out here living.
Right.
Crazy episode, like man. Amazing show. We always forget to introduce ourselves. We just take for granted everybody know who we are.
Yeah. So. I think if they this far in, man, they know. Right, I'm Michael Harriet.
Right, man. One of the be stuck, man. We just out here living that craft. We the Real Negus and we back.
Once again.
That craft. HBO got a show about blacks.
With tails coming out their back.
Peace.